Hello and welcome everyone. This is Race on Oz. It's Monday night. It's the PC League. My name is Nick and I am ready to take you through what will be round number 7 of 9. So we're in the final third of the season. This week we're at Brands Hatch. Before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about last week. Which, fair to say, I think I've only streamed... Was that my second or third race? I can't remember, but it was an absolute cracker at Silverstone. It was 100 minutes around that glorious circuit. The rain certainly played its part, and it was a phenomenal win to Ben Hignett, who before that, he was his season so far. 5th in the opening round, 10th, DNF, DNS, win. So... he's sitting 14th in the championship. He's in here tonight as well, which is awesome. But there was some cracking racing between he and Andrew Lawrenson as well. It was a fantastic race last week. If you haven't seen it, it's worth your while going back and just skipping through that on the Ruse TV channel. Absolutely ripping race. Had plenty of action throughout. Lots of overtaking. As mentioned, the weather played its part as well, and it was... it was phenomenal to watch. It was a great race. Hopefully we can get something similar tonight. That would be awesome around Brands Hatch. So looking forward to kicking that off very, very shortly. Before I do that though, let's go through the standings. So it's Max Ricker who finished in P2 last week. He took the gamble on the dry tyres at the start of the race while it was wet. Almost paid off, so almost, but came up just short. Finished P2 last week. He leads the championship by 51 points from Terry Rayton, who was absolutely storming drive through the field to finish 4th last week after starting last. He had after serving a qualifying ban. He was a great drive from him as well. Andrew Lawrenson, once again, his skills were fully on display last week, finishing 3rd. He's 3rd in the championship on 346 points. 4th is Paul Russell. He had a bit of a moment there at the end of the race last week that caused him to finish P18. Matt Frost, once again, the picture of consistency, sitting in 5th position on 253 points. Only 3 points behind him is Vinny Canero. Is putting in some quality results throughout this season. Just got a couple of DNFs in there that have derailed him a little bit, but sitting there in 6th. Matt Hayes in 7th. He was 6th last week, 7th in the championship, tied on 250 points. 20 points behind them is Chris Hildebrandt, who finished 7th last week and took out the class victory. 2nd or 3rd in a row, can't remember. Nando Latenzio, 13th last week. He is in 9th position on 229. And Mark Hurley, who had his equal season best finish of 8th last season. He is 10th in the championship on 218. Let's take a look at the Silver and the AM standings. Silver, Mark Hurley sitting on top, 5 points, 241. He leads Neil Fakney in the Silver class. Chris Hildebrandt is sitting there in 3rd, only 6 points behind Neil Fakney and 11 points off the lead on 230 points. And it's a fair way back to Chris Taylor in 4th on 144. A little bit further back is Adrian Rice in 5th on 62, and then Matt Marsh and Kong are both yet to open up their account, but Matthew Marsh is in the lobby tonight, so we should see him get some points. Fingers crossed for him. In terms of the AM, it's Mark Stevens leading the way, 213 points over Wally Masterson in 2nd. James Bridgens close behind him in 3rd. Then it's Lee Perkins in 4th. So it's still pretty tight in both classes as well as the overall, which is what you love to see coming into the final third of the season. Herbertron there in 5th position on 161. Then Bonham, and we've got Lewin there 6th and 7th. Just a quick look at the ballots before we get this one underway. We're about 40 seconds away from qualifying kicking off. Driver ballots there. 19 kilos for Lawrenson, Rayton with 16, Ricker with 12, and then it's single digits for the rest of the field. James Pierre Reid is back, so he is got his equipment all sorted and is back in the race, as you'd say. So here's what it looks like right now. Andrew Lawrenson is the fastest in free practice. Sorry, just digesting some of my dinner there that I've half finished. A 1:23.432 around this circuit. Let's take a quick look at the track while we've got a minute. Brands Hatch, so only 9 turns. It's a tricky little track. They raced here last night in the GT3 World Series. Had a couple of sprint races. It was quite nice weather actually compared to Silverstone real life and sim last week. But yeah, it's a tricky little corner, especially with Paddock Hill going sort of down and then up the hill into Pilgrim's Rise and Druids there as well. Graham Hill corner, going through Surtees, and then it gets pretty hairy around that back half of through 5, 6, and 7. Then you got the tricky left-hander of 8, which is Sterling's, can cause some issues as well. So we'll see how these drivers find it tonight. It wasn't a bad race, so I didn't get to watch all of it actually last night. I saw Valentino had some steering issues in the second race, but yeah, it was what else was there? There was one car overheated. The polystyrene placards gave some dramas last night as well, getting stuck in the air intakes, forcing a couple of cars to retire in fact. So I won't be seeing that here this evening. I don't think the realism levels are that high in ACC. Track is greasy, so it would insinuate that it has rained. I did check the weather forecast. It said that there was no rain due, so its track is 27 degrees, air temperature is 20 degrees. Can't see any rain on the windscreen here. Nor is there any on the forecast, so this is not a particularly fun track in the wet either, especially going through this part of the track as well, going through Sheens, turn 7. Going to use all the curb through there. Let's see who will be kicking us off. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. That is Vinny Canero. He does like being first out, Vinny Canero, I have noticed. Looks like Chris Hildebrand might have pipped him, but we'll stick with Vinny. So he's making his way through turn 2. This is Drew with the right hand, and then it's the short little run down the hill, using all of the curb for Graham Hill corner. And we want to actually get a nice tidy run, keeping momentum out of Surtees to make your way up the straight here along Pilgrim's Drop is what it's called. And then turn 5, the fast right-hander of Hawthorn. 4th gear, back end, wanting to step out. Great car control there from Vinny Canero to catch that slide. Then through 6th of Westfield. And this is the real tricky one. This is the fast one. It's the Sheens. And this left-hander of Sterling's, it's a lot harder than it looks. It's a tricky second gear corner. Vinny Canero able to handle it without any dramas there. Coming towards the end of his lap, so a 1:23.4 was the fastest time in free practice. Let's see what he can get up to. As we watch him, a 26.4 is fastest, but that is on a greasy circuit though, so conditions not truly reflective of what we saw in free practice. So times won't necessarily be as quick as we saw in the FP1 session. Here's Matt Frost in the 666, the Audi. There's a few Audis in the race last night as well, which is always good to see. Here's Herbertron as well. So Vinny Canero sitting on top, 26.440. Lawrenson's put his time on the board as well, as has Ricker, sitting 2nd and 3rd. Let's watch the end of Herbertron here. in doing battle for the AM Championship this season. He gets up into P9 for now. What about Adrian Rice? Good to see him out there as well. Is he fit? P6. Nice work there from Adrian Rice. We've got Mitch Hayes here for Hayes Motorsport, the number 7 Lamborghini. He's sitting in the championship standings. Can't quite see him at the moment. He's P2 on track right now, so great lap from him in the Lamborghini. Should we have a look at, you can see all the ballast settings there as well, so the different handicaps that cars have got, just in terms of the BOP, which is in alignment with low fuel motorsport. Here's Matthew Marsh, so his first race, I do believe, of the season. Track has gone to green. You can see the sun just starting to peek out a little bit. He's going to abandon that lap, so away he goes. Paul Russell, I was trying to catch him. Where is he? I'll get to him in a second. Nando Latenzio is up there in P2. Where did Paul Russell shake out? P10, so nice work from him so far in the session. 5.5 minutes down. It's Max Ricker leading the way. Latenzio, Wall, Perkins, Hignett, Hayes, Canero, Hurley, Lawrence and Russell. It's your top 10. Good healthy field tonight as well. 22 cars. Here's James Pierre Reid. He's back from his hiatus and P1. So he's back with a vengeance right now. He's got that BMW humming. As we are 6 minutes into this 15-minute qualifying session. Mark Hurley, Red Rebel Racing, sitting top of the silver class, 241 points. Putting in a fantastic season so far. P9. We'll see how fast these times come down. James Pierre Reid's at 125.222. Max Ricker just goes and beats that with a 24.962. Mark Hurley moves up into P3 at 25.7. Lawrenson goes into P1. We'll see how long that lasts for. Stevens making his way around. Where can he get himself up to? Up into P12. Here's Paul Russell. He goes up into P4. What about Hignett, for last week's race winner? And he goes up into P3. James Mack, I can't quite keep up with him right now. What about Terry Rayton? We haven't seen a time from him yet in the Honda. He goes up into P2. So times starting to tumble. A 24.735. Still not quite as fast as what we saw in free practice. About a second off at the moment. Latenzio, he goes up into P1. So the action's coming thick and fast right now. Here's Chris Hildebrandt, the silver runner, sitting third in the championship. Only 11 points off Mark Hurley, who currently sits in not P11. That's Chris Hildebrandt. Hurley is somewhere else out there on the board. I can't quite see him at the moment. What about Andrew Lawrenson? So he's up on his best time, about 2/10. That would be enough to take pole position away from the at-large and in charge Nando Latenzio in the number 2 Ferrari. He's doing fantastic right now. We'll stick with Lawrenson. He's on track to beat that time. And he does. He moves up into P1, a familiar position for him. Here's Paul Russell. He is about half a second up on his best time in the camel liveried Lamborghini. He moves from P10 up into P5, so nice work from him. Here's Vinny Canero. Here's the first car out on track early. He's in P2. He's on the front row of the grid right now. Still 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in this qualifying session, so only just over halfway. Terry Rayton goes up into P1. So I think we're going to see plenty of people occupied P1 before we get down to 000 with just on 6.5 minutes left. We're riding with Peter Waugh. I believe it'd be one of his first races of the season as well. He's half a second up on his best time. Moves from 15th into 11th, so a good start from him. Here's Chris Hildebrandt. He's half a second up on his best time. Moves up into P11. Hayes was out there as well. Where was he? I'll get to him in a moment. Here's Lee Perkins, 3/10 up on his best time with only 9 corners. There's plenty of cars that come and set times thick and fast. Hard to keep up with a little bit. Here's Paul Russell. He's almost 3/10 up on his best time. He's in P6 right now. Terry Rayton is top of the times with Andrew Warrenson in second. Canero, Latenzio and Ricker. Paul Russell trying to enter himself into the top 5 conversation. He's 2/10 up on his best time, and he does. He moves into P5. Nice work from him. Here's James Mack. He's a 10th.5 up on his best time. Can he get enough to move into P6? Not quite, but he does go faster though. So good signs for car 623. Here's Peter Wall. So just making his way through turn 8. Sterling's for the short, sharp run. Up clearways into turn 9, making his way onto the. It's not really a start-finish straight, is it? It's kind of more of a start-finish curve, if you like. Peter Wall, P10. Nothing curving about him right now. What does that even mean? I don't even know. P13, Hildebrandt still. Here's Hignett. He's down on his best time of a 125.140. The time that they're chasing is a 24.410. It's still a green track. It started off greasy. It's gone to green. Will we see these guys crack the 23s? We'll have to wait and see. Hignett, he remains in P8. What about James Pierre Reid? He is 7/10 up on his best time. Bit of a slide there out of the final turn. That didn't look like it really scrubbed too much time off. The BMWs loved it last night. They're loving it right now in P2 on the front row of the grid is James Pierre Reid. For how much longer, we will find out. Here's Adrian Rice, 1.5 seconds up on his best time. He moves up into P16. Andrew Lawrenson, 24.537 is his best time. He's chasing Terry Rayton at 24.410. He's only 0.17 of a second ahead of James Pierre Reid. So here's Lawrenson. He's got to improve his time, but not enough to move up on the grid. Peter Wall is down on his best time, so he won't improve from where he sits right now in P10. Terry Rayton, though, he is 3/10 up on his best time of a 24.410. Not quite enough to crack the 23s yet. But the track is green. 3 minutes 20 left. It's going to be who's going to be the last out there to get the best of the conditions. Terry Rayton sets a new PB and a new fastest lap for qualifying at 24.077. Matt Frost is a 10th up on his best time. That wouldn't be enough to move him up from P15 where he stands right now. Track's still green, 27 degrees, 21 degrees air temperature, so it has gone up a degree or two, a degree in air and track temperature. Frost remains 15th. Here's Marsh, he's 4/10 up on his best time. That's good enough for P16 on the grid. Get to Peter Ward. No, let's get to Mitch Hayes. He's 1.5 up. He moves up into 11th. Here's Vinny Canera. He's not going to improve on his time. This man is improving. Will it be enough to get him onto the front row of the grid? No, it is. It is. Andrew Lawrenson goes P2. They're all chasing the Honda of Terry Rayton, though. He's the fastest car out on track right now at 124.077. Track is still at green, funnily enough. It's been like that for a little while now. Who else is out there? He's up on a time. Adrian Rice is. He's almost 3/10 up. That'd be good enough to get him almost into the top 5 right now. Lost a little bit of time there. Don't think it's going to be enough now to move him up the grid. Let's flick across to Matthew Marsh, 18th, and he's just scrubbed off a little bit of time there, so that Porsche not going to improve positions. Mitch Hayes almost a tenth up on his best time, and that is good enough for P11 right now. Here's Paul Russell. He's 3/10 up on his best time. He moves on to the second row of the grid in P4. Lawrenson is out there well down on his best time. Terry Rayton continues to improve only just on his PB time. Let's flick across to Peter Wall. He's going to improve. Is it enough to improve position? It's very tight tonight. No, it isn't. So P13 is where he's at. Here's Max Ricker, almost 3/10 up on his best time. They're getting pretty close to the front row of the grid. Looks like he just lost out a little bit of time there, and that is going to affect his overall time, and he will not be improving. So P8 for Max Ricker right now. How much time? 10 seconds still to go. So we're in the dying stages of this qualifying session. Setting the grid, round number 7 of 9. Next week we've got Red Bull Ring, then we've got Suzuka to finish off the season. Who's going to be first across the line? It's going to be, I think it's going to be Marsh in the 23. Where are you? We'll just stick with Adrian Rice. Then it's the 111 of Hildebrandt coming through. And then we've got the 6. Come on. There we go. Paul Russell making his way through. Vinny Canero finishing off his lap. I think we've got Perkins. He's not going to improve on his time. James Mack. Where are you, James Mack? I don't know what he's doing down there, but here's Perkins. We have Max Ricker, 3/10 up on his best time. Getting a little bit of a toe there from the Honda of Terry Rayton, who is only 2/100ths of a second away from Andrew Lawrence. He's not going to get there in the end. What about Max Ricker? What can he pull out in the dying stages? P3, good enough for second row of the grid. Here's Ben Hignett. He was a winner last week. Currently in P7, scrubbed off a little bit of time through the final legs. It's not enough to improve. P7 is where he will begin the race. James Mack, where are you? Oh, he's in the pits. There we go. It doesn't say that he's in the pits though. James Bridgens. That is qualifying done. And that is our grid. So Andrew Lawrenson, congratulations to him, pole position with a 124.075, 2/1000ths of a second ahead of Terry Rayton in P2, then Ricker, Reed and Mack. Highest of the silver runners. Look at this guy, Adrian Rice. Nice work, Adrian Rice, the 56 Lamborghini, 24.797, fastest of the silver runners. Congratulations to him. And then it is Lee Perkins in the number 33. He's qualified 13th overall and P1 in the AM class. So that's our grid for round number 7. We are going to get things underway very, very shortly. I'll be back in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Get ready for 60 minutes of Brands Hatch. Alright, we're back. Let's get this all sorted. So this is our P1 on the grid, Andrew Lawrenson. Alright, Andrew Lawrenson in P1 on the grid. Cracking lap from him. It was Terry Wrayton. He's been in phenomenal form. Fourth last week. He didn't race the week before that, but he won 2 on the trot beforehand. So this could be a real cracker between he and Andrew Lawrenson around here. Max Ricker. It's a tricky track to pass on though, so it might not necessarily work in his favour. Here's Max Ricker in P3. James Pierre Reid, great to see him back, and an awesome way to get back into it with P4 in the BMW. One of 3 BMWs, McLaren and James Mack. Nice to see him up there as well. He was an AM driver not long ago. He was promoted to silver. Did not last very long in silver before he got promoted to pro. So he's made some really great progress in his driving, and great to see an awesome result for him in P5. Paul Russell will be hoping just to get a little bit more better luck at the end of this one, as he didn't get last week. Benjamin Hignett, so the race winner from last week, P7. And we've got Vinny Kinero in P8 starting things off. P9, Nando Latenzio. Mitch Hayes, looks like he's missed the start, so he's in the pits right now. Not too sure what happened to him, so everyone's moved up a spot. And Adrian Rice in P10. Mark Hurley is going to start the race in P11. Lee Perkins will begin in P12. Peter Wall is going to start the race from lucky for some, unlucky for others. P13. 14th is Chris Hildebrandt, the silver driver. Neil Fakeney is going to begin the race in P15. Herbertron will start in 16th. 17th is going to be Matthew Marsh in the number 23. Matt Frost in the 668. It's a little bit low for him. You don't see him that low, so not too sure what's going on there. Perhaps the Audi not really liking Brands Hatch. Let's check the what is the ballast situation for him. Frost plus 15 kilos. So the balance of performance, wherever it is. Alright, let's go here. What about Stevens? P20. 21st is Wally Masterson, and as we saw already, Mitch Hayes is going to start from the pit lane. Here we go. 60 minutes of Brands Hatch, round number 7 of the year, of the season. Last week it was 100 minutes at Silverstone in the rain. We don't have any rain. Tracks it fast. We got a full field, 22 cars. About to duke it out for 60 minutes around this 3.9 kilometre circuit. There we go. Get the green light. Looks like it was a pretty good start from Lawrenson. Rick has already made up a spot. He's going to door with Wrayton through turn 1. The field all filtering through. Looks like everyone has managed to make it through without any dramas. Even Mitch Hayes is coming out there now, so good start from all the drivers, nice and cautious. Good, fair racing through there, but it's Lawrenson leading them away. Wrayton moved back into P2, Ricker 3rd. That's where James Pierre Reid started in 4th. There's Kinero trying to put a move on, I think it was Hignett, who's dropped down a couple of spots into P8. So he's dropped already from where he started. What else do we have out there? But yeah, it looks like everyone's managed to get away. That's what you want. a nice clean start, but Lawrenson already putting a gap on the rest of the field. This is Terry Rayton, Max Ricker, and Pierre Reid following. But all a nice clean start from everyone. That's what you want. It is back to the 60-minute sprint format, but still, the race is certainly not won on the first lap. And it's going to be Lawrenson leading them away at the end of the first. This is James Pierre Reid putting the pressure on Max Ricker. Last week took the dry tyres in the wet weather. You can see Kinero just putting the move up the inside of Paul Russell. So he gets the job done there. He moves up into P6. So good start there from Vinny. Looks like Latanzio was trying to get a little piece of the action in there as well. He's got Hignett just up ahead of him. You can see Paul Russell as well in that camel liveried Lamborghini. As they head up, Pilgrims will head down. Pilgrims drop. Puff of dust from the Lamborghini in front of Paul Russell. So it's still a nice, tightly contested pack. Here's James Mack. He's managed to maintain P5 so far. He's chasing down James Pierre Reid in the BMW. It's Lawrenson leading the way. About half a second. Oh, that's a big slide from Mack. Does a good job of keeping hold of it. Let's have a quick look at that. We'll go on board with him. We'll get the driver's eye view here. Just coming out of the left-hander of Sterling's, I think it was. It was a scary moment as we go back to live images. Looks like Latanzio was swapping positions with Hignett, and Hignett manages to get that done, so he moves back up into P8, last week's race winner. Looks like Matt Frost has made a move on Marsh. Let's see how that went down. So just coming out of turn 1, up to Druids, sends it down the inside, under brakes, and the 666 Audi gets the job done. So Matt Frost moves his way up into P16. What's happened to Russell? I'm trying to catch him. Man, there he is. What's happened here? Let's see. He's got Hignett behind him. Hignett dives out to the left. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and unfortunately, it sent Paul Russell facing the wrong way. So perhaps the TDP might have a look at that, as they do all early race incidents. Hignett, he moves up into P7 for now. So, alright, so back to the action on track. Terry Rayton, only half a second away from Lawrenson. They run very wide, but you can do that through there. Last lap around for Lawrenson, a 24.395, 24.347 for Rayton. So the pace is there. So it's still nice and close here between the two. The field is quite tightly contested still, which is awesome. Max Ricker sitting there in P3. He's a couple of seconds off the front two that you can see. Then it's Pierre Reid and Mack. They've got a little tussle going on right now. Caniero's about a second away from them. Then there's some breathing room between he and Hignett, but he's got Latanzio joining him for company, less than a second the difference. Perkins as well, sitting there in P9, and then after that it's very tightly contested between Rice, Hurley, Wall, Fake News just a second off these guys. So you kind of get the picture that the pack It's still very, very tight. You can see on the map as well, there's not many stragglers. Two that they are, that's Hayes and Russell at the rear of the field. So Russell, after his recent spin with him and Hignett, but yeah, Hignett got the better of that one. Russell could come off a little bit worse for wear. Here's Rayton though. He's all over the back of Lawrenson. So Rayton was about a tenth faster on the previous lap than Lawrenson. So the Honda driver hunting down the 444 Audi, making their way through turn 7, fast right-hander, third gear. Sorry, here's turn 8, turn 8 Sterling's. It's a Honda versus Audi battle out the front. Around lap pace is Lawrenson does a 24.165, Rayton does a 124.227. Who else is out there as well? So Mack and Kinero doing battle as well as Reed, so it's still pretty tight for 4th, 5th and 6th. And a little bit further back, got a nice battle going on for 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, as well as 13th. You can throw Neil Fakey in there as well. Highest of the silver class runners is Adrian Rice, so he's still the leader in class. And you've got the AM, which is Perkins, as well as the overall, which is obviously Andrew Lawrenson. You can see him hotly contested with he and Terry Rayton. Two drivers will be quite familiar with each other. Big slide there coming out of turn 6 Westfield. These drivers pushing extremely hard. Now in terms of tonight, in terms of the pit setup, it's a mandatory stop for tyres. There is no refueling, so you must replace your tyres. And there is no refueling, so these guys are doing this with full tanks right now. It'll take a little bit of fuel managing as well to get through the full 60 minutes. But it's only 3.9 kilometre circuit, 9 turns. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a real test of skill out there this evening. Lawrenson and Rayton still doing battle. Ricker is about 2 seconds off these guys. Last triple round he did a 24.3, so he's on the pace of the front two, but he's 1.6 seconds away. You can see him there. Then Pierre Reed's just slotted in nicely, and then Mack and Kinero. At that stage though, almost 10 minutes in, so we've built up a bit of a rhythm. You'll be feeling quite nice right now. Just working into your race at this stage. This is a great battle between Rayton and Lawrenson. Rayton with a couple of wins already this season. Lawrenson also with a couple as well to his name. So he could be the first 3. Or will we see a challenger from behind? And it looks like Pierre Reed. What's happened there to him? Looks like he's had a pretty decent old whack with the wall as well. Let's see. So he's just coming through the final turn now. And he's just got on the grass. And yeah, that's a decent old whack into the wall for James Pierre Reed. So his comeback was going so well. Right now he is drifted down into P7, and let's see if we can pick up any damage on the front. Let's see. Oh yeah, the bonnet is up a little bit. How's it handling? Doesn't look too bad from that aspect. Let's see what he does, if he can bear with it and continue on, as we've completed the first 10 minutes already. Let's see if he can battle on. In the meantime, Lawrenson and Rayton continue to battle at the front. last lap around. Lawrence at a 24.7, 24.9 for Rayton. So a couple of tenths to the advantage for Lawrenson, but it's only half a second the difference between the two right now. You can see Max Ricker hanging in there. With Pierre Reid having that incident, it's opened up a bit of breathing room for him. So James Max about 2.4 seconds away from Ricker right now, and he's also got a bit of company in the form of Vinny Canero as well. So Max got plenty of work to do on his chase for Ricker, but he's also got to keep his eye on Canero from behind as well. So Ricker and Mack will be doing all right. I think Max Ricker will just be wanting to try and take advantage of these two just squabbling amongst themselves to turn a duo into a trio and make this a three-way fight for the lead of round number 7 of the season. But where the action is right now, so you can throw a blanket over them from about 9th through to 17th. They're all separated by no more than a second right now, so it's extremely tight through this mid-pack. Looks like what's happened to Bridges, he's lost a couple of spots. That was Paul Russell floating through as well. Let's go to the replay and see what's happened here. Just, I don't know what's happened to him there. I wonder if he's got some sort of equipment issue or something. Looks like he's back up to speed now, so not too sure what happened to him there. And as I mentioned, Ricker will just want these two to squabble between them because he has closed the gap down to less than a second now. It's at 8 tenths of a second right now, the difference between Rayton and Ricker. So he's just about completed his attachment onto these front two, and we're going to make this a three-way battle. James Max just drifted back a little bit further now. 3.2 seconds is the gap between he and Ricker, and as mentioned, he's got Vinny Canero to deal with anyway, so he's got his hands full with the number 1, 2, 3 Porsche sitting behind him. And then we've got this great scrap going on. Adrian Rice and Lee Perkins down here in 9th and 10th. The two class leaders, in fact. So Perkins, the league class leader of the AM, and silver class leader Adrian Rice as well. So having a good old scrap right now, Ferrari versus Lamborghini. As we might have... Oh, it's Andrew Lawrenson facing the wrong way. Hopefully he doesn't get collected there. Let's see how that happened. So just at the back of the circuit, I think coming around 6. Oh, Lawrenson just got on the grass. And that was in the... Oh, and Ricker made contact as well. So he's gone flying. That's into turn 8, Sterling's. As we go back to live action. So Max Ricker, he now finds himself in P4. And Andrew Lawrenson has fallen all the way down into P16. Still having a little bit of grips, getting himself to grips with that Audi right now. So that's had massive repercussions in terms of the race. Lawrenson now P15. Oh, Adrian Rice has pitted as well. So I wonder if that was scheduled for him or it caught a distance throughout the race. So not too sure, but that's really been a gift for Terry Rayton, who now leads this one. He has a gap of 5.1 seconds, the difference between him and James Mack. James Mack would be smiling ear to ear right now. He started in P5, currently sits in P2. He's up 3 spots from where he started. Here's Max Ricker, so he didn't suffer too much of an issue there. He's still P4. He did start the race in P3, but given the circumstances, I see some dust being flicked up as well. Oh, I think that might have been of the McLaren of James Mack. Let's see what's happened here. We go on board with him. It's really easy to do around this back part of the circuit because you really want a ripple strip right there to prevent that from happening, but that is the challenge of the track. And you can see Mack there just making contact with the wall. We go back to live images. So he's dropped down into P4. So overall, not too bad. Ben Hignett, he is making a stop. So We'll see where he shakes out. In the meantime, Latenzio is battling it out with James Pierre Reid. It's a quarter race distance. Who has been in the pits? So Rice has. He was a total of 54 seconds. So he stopped for 32. So that is about a tie stop. Who else? Hignett will give some idea if that was scheduled for him. Lawrenson is in the pits as well. There's Hignett. He's dropping. Total stop time for him was 33 seconds. So it'll be about 54, 55 seconds in total for him. So there you go. He's making his way back out on the track down in P20. So that was the scheduled stop for him. And here's Latenzio just running a little bit wide. So as I mentioned, that's where you want to have a ripple strip right through there. It's even hairier when it's wet conditions as well. You can't put a wheel on there at all. But even in the dry, it can be quite dicey. So go a bit closer racing on track. So it's Rayton leading the way, almost a third race distance. Vinny Canero in P2, Ricker third, Mac, Reed, Latenzio, Perkins, Hurley, Wall and Fakeney. Highest of the AM class is Lee Perkins, and highest of the silver class is Mark Hurley. These two drivers find themselves 7th and 8th on circuit right now. Lee Perkins, he's currently 4th in the AM championship as well. So Bridges, Masterson and Stevens are all ahead of him in the championship standings. But positively for him, they're all behind him on the circuit. So this is a good opening 20 minutes almost for Lee Perkins. Mark Hurley, he is the leader of the silver class on track and in the championship. Neil Fakeney is his closest rival. He's sitting P10 in the race right now. So in terms of championship influence, that these guys are both making good positive gains this evening. Speaking of positive gains, Max Ricker, he is closing the gap. He's gaining on the rear of the Porsche that belongs to Vinny Canero. Well, funnily enough, he's got Andrew Lawrenson just behind him. So if you're just tuning in now, this isn't for position, which you'd find it would normally be. That's Andrew Lawrenson lapping P22 right now. After his incident, which Max Ricker is working hard to replicate. Here's Mark Hurley, he's in the pits as well. So this is a scheduled stop, so as mentioned, no fuel this evening. It is a mandatory stop for tyres only. As we saw Canero there, putting a couple of tyres. Oh, again! So he's hit the wall. I was going to say I could see some dust pop up from him. So there you go, that's what I was talking about. And then he's going to do it again. But this time, oh, he just has a little moment there. And no, he doesn't. So he manages to stay off there. So nice, good driving from him. Still maintains in P3. Nando Latenzio hunting down the BMW, so that's carrying some damage right now. The number 15 BMW, James Pierre Reid, his first race back this season, making their way through Paddock Hill, down the hill into the famous turn 2 Druids. Latenzio will be fancying his chances. Get past the BMW, so having a good run right now is Nando Latenzio. Where did he start? He started in P9, so he's already moved up 6 spots. One of the largest risers throughout the field. Mitch Hayes is the other one. He started in P22. He's moved up 8 spots into 14th. Matt Frost has moved himself up 7 spots into 11th. Neil Fakeney moved up 6 spots. Vinny Canero up 5. We've had plenty of risers. Unfortunately for Andrew Lawrenson, he's been the biggest faller of the field. He's gone literally from chocolates to boiled lollies. He was in P1 He now finds himself in P22. So having a healthy field is kind of working against him. He's all the way down in 22nd position as Mark Stevens. He makes a quick stop as well. So it seems that about 54 to 55 seconds total pit lane time. That was Mark Earl getting a little bit loose there through turn 8 of Sterling's. As we're watching Hildebrandt just hassling Neil Fakeney. And looks like Marsh and Frost swapping positions. So Matt Frost gets that done. And I think Hayes and Marsh swaps as well earlier. But Matt Frost now moves himself up into P11. So that's 7 spots he's moved up since the race started. This is Hildebrandt chasing down Neil Fakeney. So this is for the silver class lead, and the two AM cars ahead of them. So you got the classes flipped around the opposite way right now. The AM are faster than the silver drivers. So that's Perkins and Moore putting in a good showing. It's Chris Hildebrandt looking to go around the outside of Neil Fakeney. Ducks back under, tries to take the inside line and does get it done. Oh, Neil Fakeney just had a little moment there as well, so that's going to allow Frost and Marsh to come in and get a little piece of this action as well. Fakeney once again cutting plenty of the corner there. I think that might have invalidated his lap as well. So he's got pressure from behind right now in the form of the 666 Audi. That's Matt Frost. Matt Marsh is a car behind him as well, and he is just peeling off into the pits now, so he's making his stop. Get back to this action here. Frost in the Audi hunting down the Lamborghini. Conditions are absolutely perfect right now. 21 degrees air temperature, 28 degrees track temperature. Doesn't really get much better than that. It's at optimum. We're not looking like there's going to be any weather whatsoever like there was last week. Drivers will really be enjoying these conditions. So Marsh is just completing his stop. And what's happened to Hayes here? Let's see if I can pick anything up. Simply dropped a couple of spots to Russell and Herbertron, who are behind him. Oh, and just the curb upset the back of the car. And away he went. We go back to live images now. There we go. Done. Right. Here's Frost still all over the back. Oh, Fakeney has a big slide coming out of Sheens. And that was enough to allow Matt Frost through. Let's have a look from the rear of the Lamborghini. This is Fakeney. And there it is there, and there goes through Frost. So Matt Frost now owns P10. So good work from him. Neil Fakeney, he's making his stop at almost the halfway mark. 25 minutes gone. So it's Terry Rayton. The difference between he and Max Ricker is at 4.3 seconds. A 24.445 the last lap around of Rayton. Ricker was a 5.57. So 10th separating them right now. So not much in it. Lawrenson has worked his way back up into P20. So with 25 minutes gone, almost halfway, you'd have to think that Andrew Lawrenson is going to take some minor miracle for him to become a contender in this one. So Rayton and Ricker will keep an eye on the gap. Right now, it's only 4 seconds between the two. Vinny Canero putting in a great effort. He's currently sitting in P3, only a couple of seconds behind Ricker. And you've got Mack, Reed, Latenzio still can't quite find a way past Pierre Reed, even though that BMW is wounded right now. Reed's able to drive around, and he has done that on a few occasions as well over the years. So not surprised to see him able to keep someone behind him despite his car not feeling 100%. he got Perkins a long way back, almost 10 seconds, but he's got Peter Wall for company. So he's got it all. He'll have his eyes firmly in that rear view mirror, trying to keep that UGLY racing car behind, and that is one hell of an ugly looking car. I tell you what, you know what it reminds me of? Those old candies, those those Redskins, Redskins, they were like a candy apple stripe or whatever. That solid sugar that they used to, little strip things I used to eat as a kid, not knowing how much sugar was in them. But anyway, here's Matt Frost, so he's less than a second behind Hildebrandt. And other than that, there's not too many cars that are closer to each other than what we've seen. So the gap's at 3.1 seconds now. That's Andrew Lawrenson behind Ricker. What was he lapping up, Lawrenson? 24.612 as James Mack makes his way into the pits out of P6. So he's having a good race. 2.8 seconds is the gap. Has Rayton got a little bit of traffic? So he's got a car in front of him now, and he had someone. That was Neil Fakeney. So I'm not too sure. I'm not suggesting either of those guys did anything untoward, but just dealing a little bit of traffic around what is quite a tight little circuit as well. Very old school as well. It is an old track. But yeah, not much room for overtaking around here. And as Nando Latenzio is finding out right now, he's trying to make his way past that BMW. We've got a bit of action going on in the pits right now. Hildebrandt, Atron, Perkins are all in there. James Mack is just leaving, so he's made his stop. How many drivers have made stops? Well, would it be about half the field right now? 10 drivers of the 21, so we've lost one since we started. That's not too bad at the halfway mark almost. Has Hildebrandt had it off? No, he hasn't. He's just coming out of the pit, so he comes out in P15. So Terry Rayton was in the pits. I was going to say, when are the leaders going to pit? Here's Max Ricker following him in, so that means Vinny Canero. He's a race leader. Let's give him a little bit of shine right now. As keep an eye on the pit stops. So right now it's at 30 seconds for Rayton, about 30 seconds now for Ricker. So they're right on target with each other. Stop will almost be finished. Is that Rayton dropping? Oh, it's Ricker dropping. So Ricker jumps Rayton in the. Jumps Rayton in the pits. So Max Ricker, he was stopped for a total of 32 seconds, and Rayton was stopped for 35 seconds. So there you go. So the difference in the pit stop there. So 3 seconds. Stop 4, and that's Max Ricker with Hignett as well. That's 4th position, and he squeezes past, so he puts a car between he and Rayton, and this is working out quite nicely for Max Ricker. So the total time about 55 seconds, and the difference right now between Max Ricker and Vinny Canero is coming down rapidly because Vinny Canero is in the pits. So Max Ricker, it's an interesting spot to come out with. He's got Hignett breathing down his neck. Then he's got Terry Rayton just behind him. I dare say he would be relishing this opportunity right now to do some wheel-to-wheel racing. As Canero still in the pits. How long has he been in there for now? He's still got a couple more seconds before he'll drop, then he'll go. There you go, he drops now. He's going to lose positions to Ricker, Hignett, and I dare say Rayton as well. There's Canero, and then they all flash through, so he's lost out a little bit with those 3 guys racing through. And Ricker coming under attack from Hignett into turn 1. through. Sorry, it was turn 2. Sorry, Druids. Russell in the pits as well right now. So 33 seconds he was stopped for. I believe 33 seconds he was stopped for. So only the top 4 drivers yet to pit. Sorry, wrong one. Here's Hignett being hunted down by Terry Rayton, who was our race leader. Got jumped in the pits. Rayton a little bit loose there. Got jumped in the pits by Ricker and then came out on circuit behind Hignett. Has got some more action in the pits. Wall and James Pierre Reid, he finally pits. He'll be repairing that damage. Or will he? I'll check the times to see if it indicates that he does. This is a great little tussle here for 5th, 6th and 7th. These guys will shoot up the leaderboard. Leaders right now are Latenzio and Hayes. So Ricker is our net leader at this stage of the race with 27 minutes and change remaining. So we're over the halfway mark. Only 3 drivers yet to stop. Latenzio, Hayes, and it was Peter Wall, but he is in the pits right now. He's just about to come out. So only 2 drivers remaining to make a stop. Latenzio and Hayes. Andrew Lawrenson has moved his way back up into P13 as Lee Perkins gets the move done on Peter Wall. That would have been just coming out of the pits to complete his stop. What's happened to Frost and Atron? Russell's gotten through there, and here's Marsh and Wall doing battle, going through Surtees, turn 4. Ferrari versus BMW run up the straight. Porsche versus BMW. The Porsche wins in this case as Latenzio makes his way into the pit. So Ricker steams past the start-finish line and takes P2, which Hayes once he makes his stop. And Max Ricker will be the leader of the race with just a little over 25 minutes remaining. Max Ricker looking to take his first win of the season. So far his best has been 2nd, 3 races in a row. The 3 races before that he was 4th. Here's Pierre Reid. So he manages to stay in front of Latenzio as well. So James Pierre Reid in the number 15 BMW, he has managed to stay ahead, and it does not look like he's repaired that damage. So 32 seconds total stop time. He was stationary for 54 seconds in total. Was a second faster than Latenzio. So he's managed to hold on to that position and probably open up a little bit of a gap as well. There's 3 seconds right now between he and Latenzio. In the meantime, we've got Hignett, Rayton and Kinero all going to battle. P3, 4 and 5. A couple of seconds up the road is Max Ricker from these guys, who is 15 seconds behind Mitch Hayes, who is yet to stop on lap 24, and he's going to continue around again. So in the meantime, Rayton 25.3 on that last lap, a 25.1 to Hignett and a 24.180 to Kinero. So he's got pace over both of the cars in front of him. Let's just see if he can convert that pace into a pass. It's going to be quite the challenge getting past that Honda of Terry Rayton. And this is setting up nicely for a bit of a grandstand finish here. There's Ricker just up ahead. So he'll be hoping these two just squabble amongst themselves so he can continue to eke out a bit of a lead. That's Hignett pushing extremely hard. So perhaps can't question any his commitment right now. Benjamin Hignett He's all over it. 14th in the championship. Last week's race winner. Before that, he didn't start a couple of races of DNF, a 10th and a 5th. So, not your conventional season. Here's Paul Russell. He gets the move done. Let's go to the replay on that one. Let's see how he got this done. Looks like Lawrenson manages to get past Wall as well. So, he's continuing his charge. And there you go on the replay. Elicited a response from from Heather Russell in the chat. Earlier on, the incident between he and Benjamin Hignett. So here's Rayton. He's all over the back of the 471 Lamborghini right now. It's a Lamborghini 1 and 3 at this stage. Terry Rayton looking to take that final podium position away from the Lamborghini. Heather Russell defending her brother in the chat. Love it. So almost 2/3 race distance. We're getting set up for a cracking finish. Rayton, the view from behind. This is the view from in front. Chasing down the Lamborghini. You see Max Ricker just in the foreground there. So he is P2 on circuit. That is because Mitch Hayes is yet to pit. I have to say, he's doing a decent job as well, considering that there's no refueling. You've got to stretch these tyres out for as far as you can go. Mandatory stop for tyres. And this is all essentially for 2nd, 3rd and 4th right now. These three drivers are all fighting it out. For Vinny Canero, his highest finishing position so far is 3rd. So if he could hold on. He did well last week. He did finish 9th. But he was 3rd at the Nordschleife, which is a phenomenal effort from him. He's released on console as well this week. And I think from all reports, it didn't break the game again, which is really good. Which is always a positive. What usually happens with unfortunately the console releases, and it's a quick fix for it, but didn't really hear too much about that this past weekend. As Canero probing the rear of the Honda, looking for a way past. As mentioned, it can be quite difficult to pass around here, even harder to pass a driver of Terry Rayton's skill and capabilities. But yeah, good to see Vinny Canero having a good run of it. About 10 seconds down the road is James Mack. He's got James Pierre-Reid for company as well. So Mack having a good run. He started in P5, currently occupying P6, which I think he'd still be pretty happy with that right now. If we go back to this scrap between Hignett, Rayton and Canero. So tightly compacted with one another. Literally throw a blanket over the three of them right now. All lapping very, very similar pace. There's only sort of one to 2 tenths between each of them. And that's all perfect right now for Max Ricker. He's lapping a 1:23.965. So neither of these guys chasing him were in the 24s. Hignett was almost 24.045 as Hayes comes into the pits. So we'll get a new race leader in Max Ricker. Hignett and Rayton will slip through there as well. So they'll now be officially in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. As we saw in the foreground there, Max Ricker. So with Hayes making his stop, let's see where he drops out to. So he's currently in P9 right now. P9 and he dropped off. Have a look at this. Oh no, that's Hignett. Has gone into the wall. Let's go to the replay and see what happened there. I was looking for Mitch Hayes to see where he dropped down to. So I missed this. I just saw this out the corner of my eye. Oh, so it's Hignett just getting a little bit loose. Canero got on the grass as well. And then just slight contact with the Lamborghini. Sent him into a spin. He's hit the wall. And I think Canero was trying to redress it. And I think he has. It looks like it. Yes. So he's in P8. Hignett is in P7. So Canero, good driving from him. He redressed that, which the TDP Trusted Drivers Panel look upon very, very favourably. But unfortunately for them, they're both now down in 7th and 8th, so they were fighting it out for podium position. And now they're in 7th and 8th position. And that's Adrian Rice that Benjamin Hignett is chasing down right now. And we're not far away from beginning the last quarter of this race. So not great timing. Here's Hignett making a stop. So he's decided that damage is too much to continue on with, and he's going to make a stop to potentially repair that, or we'll wait and see if he continues on the last 17 and a bit minutes in this one. I think that's... No, I think he's decided that is enough, and he has left, I do believe. So, Hignett, and I'm not too sure who the other one was. Originally, when I got across those guys, who was I looking for? Mitch Hayes. I think Mitch Hayes was the other one. He just pitted out of the lead and he was done. Here's Lawrenson, who manages to get past Marsh. So Andrew Lawrenson's worked his way back up into P9 now after spinning while in the lead. Just sends it down the inside of Matt Marsh. Gets the job done. Pretty straightforward there for Lawrenson. So he is now in P9. He's tucked under the rear wing of the Ferrari belonging to Lee Perkins in P8. So he is going to have to keep his eyes peeled for that pink Audi behind him. In the meantime, James Pierre-Reid has a sniff of a podium right now. So in his first race back, he's got James Mack between he and P3 right now. And I don't think James Mack will be in a hurry to let go of that opportunity. So this is going to be great stuff. 16 minutes remaining. It's Max Ricker in the lead. He's got Terry Rayton behind him. So 3.8 seconds is the difference. And then these two cars, Mack and Reed, they're about 12.5 seconds back. And then Nando the Tenzio as well. So he's down there in P5. And he's certainly got a shot at this of getting a podium as well with the last 15.5 minutes remaining in this one. Round number 7. 7 of 9 in the championship. So we're coming down to the business end of the season. And it's Mack, Reed and Latenzio, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Ricker, that last lap around at 124.182. Rayton did a 23.957. So a couple of tenths in it between those two. 3.4, 3.2 seconds is the gap right now between Rayton and Ricker. So the battle for the lead is not over yet. And the battle for the final podium position is not over either. So this race has a few more twists and turns left in it. Let's see what it's going to serve up. Lee Perkins, he's the highest of the AM drivers. So he's leading the class right now. That'll do his championship hopes the world of good. Because James Bridgens is 5 points ahead of him in the championship. And he's down in 18th. Mark Stevens is about 28 points ahead of him, and he's 16th right now on the road, while Lee Perkins is sitting very happily up there in P8. He does have Andrew Lawrenson behind him though, so it's going to be a monumental effort to defend for the next 14 minutes, but we'll see if he can do it. If not, Still a top 10 finish is going to be phenomenal for him, the AM driver. And then Adrian Rice, he's been the silver class leader for the majority of the race and continues to do so. He has a nice little gap on Matthew Marsh as well, who's sitting there in 10th, while Rice is in P6. So great stuff to see from Adrian Rice in the Lamborghini. Doing a phenomenal job. So I'm going to try something a little bit different tonight as well, with some post-race interviews. And yeah, hopefully we get to have a chat to Adrian Rice as well, and a few other of the drivers as well. But that's still 13 plus minutes away. We've got plenty of action on the track. One of them is Peter Wall. He's got Matthew Marsh. They're going to go side by side into turn 1 of Paddock Hill. And they're going to go down the hill here up to turn 2 through Druids. Quite get that move done. Vinny Canero, after he's coming together with Hignett, he's worked himself back up into P6, so that's not a bad recovery for him. Now, that is Hignett on the screen. Oh, he had like a disconnect or something. He's down there in P20 on the timing screen. I'm positive that when he went into the pits, he disconnected. So he must have disconnected and then come back again for whatever reason. So he's down there in P20 right now, so that's not a past 4 position if he makes it past Adrian Rice. So it is, he's gone from the top to the bottom, unfortunately, in the space of a week, as Benjamin Hignett, from winner last week to unfortunately sitting in P20 right now. Looks like Lawrenson did manage to get past Perkins as well, so Lee Perkins' defence was unable to keep Andrew Lawrenson behind him. He's still sitting in P9. He's 1.4 seconds off this car and behind him, belonging to Matthew Marsh, who's got his hands full dealing with Peter Wall right now, as we're embarking almost in the final 10 minutes of this one. Been once again a nice little action-packed race, 60 minutes of pretty much non-stop action tonight. It's been great. Wouldn't have minded a little bit closer battle for P1. We still might get there. It's 3.7 seconds the difference right now between Max Ricker and Terry Rayton. There's only a tenth separating them on that last lap around, so pace very, very similar between those two. Max Ricker, can he take his first race win of the season? Terry Rayton would love to get his third. We've got 11 minutes away from finding out. In the meantime, this battle is heating up. Nando Latenzio will be very, very familiar with the rear wing of the BMW come the end of tonight. He spent a lot of time behind it, belonging to James Pierre-Reid, who had that spin coming out of turn 9 early on in the race, hit the wall, suffered the damage, was still able to pit without repairing it, came out in front of Latenzio, and now finds himself in 4th position, battling it out for a podium with James Mack between he and the third step on the dice. As we're having a look at Neil Fakeney here, so he's got past Matt Frost. I'm not really seeing it at the moment. Oh, there he goes. There's Frost. So he's had a bit of a moment, and he's slipped down into P14. So Neil Fakeney there in 13th, and now coming under immense pressure from Chris Hildebrandt in the Lexus. Currently sitting in 15th position, so a good little scrap going on between those two. But in the meantime, getting back to this one here between Pierre-Reid and Latenzio, battling out for 4th and 5th. And yeah, in saying that, it's 3rd position on track right now, belonging to James Mack. I have to say, I'd be pretty happy if James Mack was able to get a podium. I did mention earlier on in the broadcast, he was not that long ago, he was an AM driver. And he got too good for AM, he went to silver, and then very quickly he went from silver to pro, and is justifying that bump up a grade, sitting P3 right now. So 9 minutes left. Can he hang on? Difference between Ricker and Rayton as we're watching Marsh ducking and diving, weaving, trying to find a way past Lee Perkins, who's currently leading the AM class. He's 9th outright right now, and Marsh has Wall to contend with as well, so that's a little bit of defence for Lee Perkins. Paul Russell we saw in the background there as well, make a little bit of contact between the BMW and the Porsche, between Marsh and Wall, and that'll be doing the world of good for Paul Russell, who's sitting there in P12. He had a little bit of a moment earlier on. He had a decent qualifying too, qualified in P6. Second race in the row that he's had a little excursion that sort of derailed his race. Looking to just try and claim as many points as he can. In the closing stage of this one, 8 minutes remaining. It's Max Ricker leading from Terry Rayton. The gap's been hovering at about 3.1, 3.3 seconds for a little while now. James Mack 14 seconds off those guys. And then the battle for that podium position, half a second the difference between the two. And it looks like Reed is just able to open up a bit of a gap between he and Nando Latenzio. So he can focus all of his efforts 100% eyes forward and aiming for the rear of that McLaren belonging to James Mack. Can he hold on for a very well-deserved podium while Reed and Latenzio continue to hunt him down? And in the meantime, we've got a fun little scrap going on right now between Perkins, Marsh, Wall and Russell. Russell just trying to claim a few extra points at the end of this one. There's a massive slide there. Felt like it was going forever. And then Marsh also gets the move done on Perkins. Let's go to the replay on that. We'll see if we can see everyone. So if you keep your eye on that purple car as well, there's a massive slide coming up. Have a look at it. He almost went around. Perkins ran a little bit wide, and then out of all the chaos there, Matthew Marsh was able to slip through and moves himself up into P9 as we go back to live images. And Wall was able to hold on as well, so he still has the yellow Lamborghini behind him belonging to Paul Russell, as Andrew Lawrenson gets a move done on Adrian Rice. No, what happened, Adrian Rice? So he was leading the silver class, no more. Oh no, that looks like it was out of turn 8, Sterling's, I think it was. He's gone around, and that was Marsh going through to take the silver class lead. So in the dying stages of this one, Adrian Rice was on track to take silver class victory, but Matthew Marsh has gone through after the mistake from Rice, who finds himself now down in P12, and Marsh leading the silver class. He's in P8. He's coming under attack though from Lee Perkins, and then still the battle between Wall and Russell rages on, while Bridgens, haven't seen too much of him in today's race. He's down there in 17th. Looks like he takes away a position from Wally Masterson, who is second in the AM Championship right now, but not having the best of days, down there in 18th position in the closing stages. Just a tick over 5 minutes remaining. So class leaders, obviously Max Ricker, the gap's down to 2.2 seconds now as well. So it is closing up. It had been hovering around that 3.1 for a little while. It is down to 2.2. Oh, I hear tyres screeching. And it's Lee Perkins, so another class leader has crashed out of the class lead. Let's see what happened here. So he's got Marsh ahead of him. Oh, he's just gone onto the grass, tried to pull it up, and was able to keep it going. That's Russell going through. Oh, then he's just about to get back on the track, he slammed into the wall, and Lee Perkins now 11th. That means Peter Wall, who just gets overtaken there by Paul Russell. But Peter Wall is now the class leader with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. Peter Wall is in P10 and the silver class and the AM class lead. And then Matthew Marsh, he's the silver class leader. He's 8th outright at the moment. So 4 minutes and change remaining. And we've had a couple of class leading changes as well, so that's going to shake up the championship a little bit as well. All in the meantime, while third is still up for grabs, Mac, Reed and Latenzio. They're occupying positions 3, 4 and 5. This is great stuff. Another race coming down to the wire. 2.8 seconds the gap between Max Ricker and Terry Rayton. Last lap around, Ricker did a 24.272. Terry Rayton did a 25 flat. As Latenzio looking to go around the outside of Pierre Reid. He's going to have the inside run for the next corner. Doesn't quite get it. Almost makes a little bit of contact with the rear of the BMW. Manages to avoid too much contact. And he holds on to P5 right now. And in the meantime, all that does is helps out James Mack. The gap between he and Reed, you can see it there, is 1.2 seconds. James Mack, he's so close to a podium, he can taste it. 3 minutes away, in fact. Just needs to hold on. And I reckon Nando Latenzio is going to push James Pierre Reid all the way to the very end of this one. So Mack just needs to keep it facing the right way. He puts a wheel on the grass there. That is tempting fate. If what we've seen from other cars through that particular area of the track has taught us anything tonight, we don't want to see him facing the wrong way at this very, very late stage of the race. 2.5 minutes remaining. Probably a couple of laps away from a podium. The leaders have not too long crossed the line, so I dare say next lap around we will get the signal. That will be the final lap of the race. So these guys have got about 1 3/4 of a lap still to go. Only 3.9 kilometre track, 9 turns. So it's still all up for grabs right now. 2.8 seconds between Ricker and Rayton. So perhaps there was a little bit of traffic that they both needed to deal with. It's just caused that time to drop a little bit, but it seems like it's started to level off now around that almost 3 second mark. And Mark puts a wheel on the grass again and again. You can see, oh no, that's Herbertron in front of them, in fact, who might have been doing that instead. Latenzio getting in on the act now as well, as is James Pierre Reid. So easy to do around that part of the track.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap.
There we go. Leader is on the final lap. So this will be the last lap from these guys as well. As Latenzio looking to go around the outside of turn 9. He is determined to push James Pierre Reid all the way. To be Herbertron there as well, getting out of the way. That could have been real nasty. Latenzio almost losing it there. The back end wanting to flip around. He was able to avoid it. That would have been a disaster at this stage of the race. The final lap. There's James Mack just managing to hold on. He's got about 6 more turns to make before he can take out a podium finish. It's Rayton and Ricker at the front. There's Max. So take no credit away from him. He's been phenomenal today. He qualified in P3 on the second row of the grid, and he is just a couple of turns away from taking his first victory of the season. A very, very well deserved. He is our championship leader by 51 points from Terry Rayton. He is going to extend that lead only marginally. But Max Ricker, congratulations, his first win of the season, round number 7 winner. Congratulations, Max Ricker. Terry Rayton comes home in P3. And this man, James Mack, he's 1 turn away. As I mentioned, it's been a bit of a feel-good story right now to see James Mack in car 623, the Red Rebel Racing entry. He is going to take home P3 and the final podium. Well done, James Pierre Reid, with a fantastic drive, managing to hold off Nando Latenzio, who pushed him all the way to finish in 5th. 6th is Vinny Canero. He's being pushed all the way from Andrew Lawrenson, who fell out of the lead earlier on in the race. Canero 6th. 7th is Lawrenson, the silver driver, Coming home is going to be, head of the silver, it's going to be Matthew Marsh. So for silver, and then for the AM, it's going to be Peter Wall. Congratulations. He comes home in P number 10, but AM class winner. Perkins, Rice finishes down in 12th. Then you've got Fakeney, Frost, Hildebrandt, Stevens, Bridgens, Masterson, Herbertron, and Benjamin Hignett. So we only lost 2 over that time. But that's not too bad. But it was this man in the end, Max Ricker, who took home P1. Massive congratulations to him. That was a fun race tonight. Lots of action for the full 60 minutes. And now we're going to try and get some post-race interviews. Alright, let's see if we can do this. It's going to be a little bit of just doing it on the fly. But yeah, Max Ricker was the race winner. It was Wally. No, who was it? It was for AM. So it was Peter Wall for the silver. No, for AM. And then for silver, I think it was Marsh. That's right. I'm just getting all that down. Alright, let's see if someone wants to jump in. I'm gonna find out. Let me quickly jump in the chat here.
Hey Nick.
Oh, who's this? Who have we got here? Max Ricker, my man. How you going?
I'm tired.
You're tired? Congratulations. So you qualified, what was it, P3, and you've come home in P1. Walk us through your race. How was it?
Was good. It's a shame that Andy made a mistake. I don't know if it was lap 7, 8, 9, something like that at the rear of the track.
Yep.
Because then we got caught. Terry left, and I was like, "Oh, that's the race gone." But in the end, it was Terry had a very bad stop. I gained a little bit by the end of the stint. Then he had a bad stop. I jumped in. Ignat was in the mix. Everyone was there, and it was a couple of crazy laps because it takes time to warm up tires on this track. It takes a lot of time. And then Terry was flying once he went past Ignat. But I managed to keep those 3 seconds that I gained at the beginning of the stint, and it was good. It was good racing. It was hard racing. These boys, they're not circulating. They quick. Yeah.
Hey, you're pretty quick yourself, so you fit in well with the rest of them. And so I think you jumped. You jumped right in the pits, and then you came out just in front of Hignett, so it was really tight between you, Rayton, and Hignett once you came out of the stop. How did you find that?
Hignett had a good strategy because he gained a lot of time as we crashed out, Andy and myself, and he was bang on. He came in early, undercut us, so he had warm tires. And it's the first couple of laps I had to close doors everywhere. He was very aggressive, and I got lucky that I closed all the doors. I don't know if it's a McLaren thing, but it was hard to get the tires up into temperature. Once they were up, then you had the problem with loss of pressure because there is UK tracks. They have very hard apexes, and it's very easy to lose pressure. I was losing pressure a little bit at the end of the stint, but it's what it is. No, with Ignat was great. He's another quick one. We are not too many in the championship, but there are good quality drivers.
Yeah, 100% agree. And hey, at least you were on the right tyre compound this week as well.
Compared
to last week. Hey, but
I tried it. I was like, let's try it, because if it was staying dry, then there was no chance that they would have got me. But then when I saw 15 minutes rain, I was like, no. To be honest, I didn't even know how I got second because I wasn't expecting that.
Well, no risk, no reward. So you did fantastic.
Exactly.
You did fantastic last week, and your first win of the season as well. So yeah,
Finally.
yeah, phenomenal effort. Well, you had a string of seconds, so 3 seconds in a row, and before that it was 3/4 in a row, and you're finally able to get the number one on the board this week. So awesome job, man.
Cheers.
Cool. All right. Well, good luck for next week.
Thank you. I'll leave you with Matthew.
Yeah. We've got Matthew Marsh, who was our silver class winner. How you going? Congratulations.
Well, that was a bit of a surprise, really, wasn't it? I was fully anticipating having at least one crash, and so I come out without any damage, which is really, obviously a surprise to me and probably to everybody else in the race.
And you were able to. This was your first race back for the season, I believe.
Yeah, I've been travelling, as we all do, from time to time, and missed a lot of races. And Brands Hatch is a difficult one to miss when you're, in town, and we've all got, busy lives. But I felt that this was a circuit that, if I could spare an hour, this is the place to spare it.
Nice. I can't say I would agree with that. With this circuit, it's not a personal favourite for me, but you did an awesome job tonight, and you were in a pretty good battle there. I think it was with Peter Wall. I think at the end there, you and Peter Wall were having a good scrap there at the end.
Yeah, actually, I was very lucky having good racing all the way through. I had a good race with Frosty. I don't know why he didn't have as much pace as normally when I see Frosty behind me, I just get out the way.
Yeah.
He wasn't today, so I had a good battle with him. And then actually I pitted early because I realised that they were all squabbling. So I thought if I got out the way and had a pit stop, I might undercut, which I think I did almost all of them. Then I had, as you say, a good battle with Wolsey and somebody. Who's the guy I overtook? It's got a sort of legendary Australian racing driver's name.
It was
Perkins.
Yeah. Lee Perkins.
Yeah. So he and I had a good old scrap. So I was really, great racing. It's a terrific place for racing. I know. It's some people don't like it because it's difficult, but isn't that the whole point?
It is. It's the challenge is what it is, and it's, in particular that back part of the circuit through sort of 6 and 7. In particular 7, we saw a few cars coming off there as well. And it was kind of a little bit bittersweet as well. Like Adrian Rice had led that silver class for the majority of the race, and you were able to hold on there. That's racing though, right? Got to be in the right place at the right time, and you happen to do that tonight. And really, really awesome.
And when we say thanks to you, Nick, because your efforts really make a difference to how this feels for us doing it, and hopefully for those watching it. So big thanks to you for all the effort you put into this.
Yeah, no dramas, man. No, thank you guys for putting on all the racing. So it's it works both ways. But well, and are you back now for the next couple of races, or are you back off travelling again?
Back off again, unfortunately. But let's see. I'm hopeful I might be able to do Suzuka, and I'm hoping. I've been practicing on the Nürburgring, which is why this circuit felt pretty easy. So I'm looking forward to a race on the big track.
Beautiful. All right. Well, hopefully we see you again this season. But congratulations on your silver class victory tonight. Very well earned.
Thanks, Nick. Good to talk to you.
No worries, mate. Good to talk to you as well. We'll hopefully we'll see you again this season. I think that's about all we've got right now. I was hoping to get Peter Wall in the chat, but I don't know if he is online at the moment. I don't know if there's anyone else who wants to jump on. No, I think that's about it for now. So thank you to Matthew Marsh for jumping on. Thanks to Max Ricker as well, and congratulations to both of those guys. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I thought that was another very entertaining race, especially after last week, which was quite a feat to live up to. But I thought it was fantastic, and it's definitely shaping up the championship for a grandstand finish. So next week we're at the Red Bull Ring, which is going to be fun. I've never commentated a race around there before in ACC, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, hang on, we've got him, Peter Wall. You're on. You're in here.
Hi Nick, how you going?
Good, mate. How you going?
Knackered. That was a hard race after not racing for a very long time.
Yeah, I was going to say you've I think it was Matthew Marsh, I think, is his first race of the season this season. And was it your first as well this season?
Yeah, first this season. I haven't been racing all year because I hurt myself before Christmas.
What did you do?
I hurt my thumb and wrist, so it's only just starting to come back. So good to be racing again.
Yeah, not particularly good injuries for sim racing. So walk us, first of all, delivery. What's up with delivery? You had such an awesome one with the Shell, the old school Ford Sierra Shell livery in the McLaren. What's up with this livery, the ugly livery going on? Team Ugly that you've named yourself.
Just for a bit of fun, because I thought there's only 3 races left in the season. I wasn't going to bother doing a livery for this one, so I thought I'll make something as ugly and offensive as possible.
Well, it's you certainly hit the mark, so you succeeded in doing that. I can't remember where you qualified though. I think it was
P12, I think.
P12, so that's pretty good. That's still a decent result. And then walk us through the battle that you had. Just I mainly saw the one at the end where I think it was the second or third lap from the end where the car wanted to turn around. By the looks of things, you're coming out of, I think it was turn 4, the left-hander, and you almost went around, but you managed to hold on to it.
Yeah, this is my first time ever driving the Beamer, and it's very interesting on throttle in a couple of corners. And I actually, for the first time, locked the rears into the corner with Paul right behind me, and then just sort of started grabbing gears and lots of opposite lock. I actually thought I was going around, and even in the race comms, Paul thought I was going around too. I don't know how I saved it, to be honest.
I thought you were going around as well. It was almost like it was going in slow motion. Like it was almost on. You held on to it somehow. So,
the car sort of. It's weird. The Beamer, it starts poorly, comes good, goes poor, and then comes good again. It was a bit weird on the tyres, but I'm also could be a bit out of practice, of course.
Yeah, maybe it's just that sort of getting to know it sort of phase. And then how did you go with, so the setup was the mandatory stop for tyres and no refueling for tonight. How did you go with that?
Yeah, that was easy for me. I think you'd easily get the tyres were wearing and graining on the front a bit, but I just did the even split. I probably should have come in a lap earlier because it enabled Marsh to jump me in the pits. If I think I came in a bit earlier, I should have safely come out the front in front of Perkins and Marsh after the stops. But yeah, I think I did one too many laps, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. Well, it still worked out. It was, I think Lee Perkins was leading the AM class there. No, sorry, you're silver. So it was.
Yeah, Perkins was leading.
Oh yeah, How come you're classified as AM this season?
I think it might have been put in wrong for this race because I registered late.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say because that didn't really necessarily make sense. But yeah, Perkins was leading at that little mistake there at the end. And did you struggle through turn 7 as well? It seemed like everyone came unstuck there. Even Andrew Lawrenson found himself turned around the wrong way through there. Did you struggle through there like everyone else?
No, the Beamer was pretty good, so you could attack that inside curb at Sheen there, so it didn't really bother me as much. And yeah, Lawrenson said in the post-race chat that he, in the grass, third gear, full throttle, and it was all over for him. Yeah,
he ended up turning around the wrong way, and he gave Max Ricker a bit of a... he gave him a touch as well, all accidentally, of course, and Max was sort of able to walk away virtually unscathed, while Lawrenson sort of fell down towards the rear of the field. Cool. And anything else that you wanted to bring to light? And how was your race overall? How did you find it?
Yeah, not too bad. It was pretty busy, really. I was always in a battle pretty much the whole race, which is always fun to do. But it was good to be back, and it looked like there was. Like looking at the leaderboard, it looked like there was good racing up and down the track.
It was, yeah. It was after last week at Silverstone, where it was an absolute cracker of a race. So this had a bit of a bit of work to do to live up to that. But I think it was really good. It was a strong field of 22 cars. It was close racing throughout, and good clean start from everyone as well. So it was, it'll be a good one to watch back when you get the chance. So. But congratulations on tonight.
Thanks, mate, and thanks for doing the commentary as always. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Thank you. So All good. All right, beautiful. Well, and are you back for the next couple of races at the Red Bull Ring in Suzuka?
Yep, that's the plan. I'll do the last 2 races. I haven't done a single lap around Red Bull Ring, so next week could be interesting.
All right. Well, the BMW sounds like it's pretty forgiving, so hopefully you can get some practice between then and now.
No worries. Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, mate. Have a good night. Thank you. All right. That's everyone. So that's all our class winners. So thank you for everyone to jump in. I know it's not everyone's favourite thing to do to speak on the stream, but great to get some insight from the drivers, and we'll continue to do that as well. So as mentioned, next week it's at the Red Bull Ring, which is very exciting. We've got another 60-minute sprint, so it'll be the same time, same place for everyone. So until then, I hope you all enjoyed tonight. Stick around for some more racing next week. Until then, though, enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe. Keep yourself out of trouble.